Me and Lucy just got done playing For Glory, and I'm seriously contemplating this is one of the best two-player games I've ever played.
Check it out.
Let's talk about it. What does that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTubers! Welcome to Bauer's Board Game Corner.
I just about fell down.
Me, Lucy, and this is Bauer.
And today we got another Thoughts from the Corner. We're checking out For Glory, the new one from Spielcraft Games. This is a two-player only game, going to take about 69 minutes to play, and it's for ages 14 plus. And For Glory is a deck building game, but it's actually, there's two separate avenues to this game. The first half of each round, you're going to be doing the deck building, where you will be adding to your deck and getting money and buying from three specific card rows or card areas. And each of the cards is vastly different. You're going to buy gladiators who will use to fight. You're going to buy money
and patrons.
Yes, money and patrons. And the patrons are kind of like the people who fund your whatever it's called, the thing where you're
yeah, essentially like patrons give you either special abilities or at least influence, which helps you play your gladiators. Or you can buy money from that same pool that helps you also buy your gladiators.
Yep.
So essentially, you can put out your gladiators with that, or buy their gladiators.
Yes, and then last but not least, you have reactions, which are pretty much going to be things that you're going to play for phase 2 of each round, which is cards that are going to help you win your gladiators duel. Because once you're done with the deck building, you'll hit a certain number of gladiators out there, and they do that with a really cool system. And then you get into the actual gladiator fighting, where you are going to be fighting for over 2 different areas on the board. And you're going to have different gladiators, we're going to have different special abilities, you're going to have different spectators who are kind of sponsoring your gladiators, we're going to have different special abilities, you're going to have different reaction cards that are going to do all sorts of different things, and there is so much variability in the game.
Oh, yeah.
We just got done playing this, and we probably saw half the cards.
Maybe, probably even less than that.
And there was so much going on. Do you want to start with this one?
Oh, yeah. I like this little element because it has like this, it's a great like 2-player game. It wasn't too long, but it had that nice little length I like, because like sometimes 2-player games are just like a little, or even like deck building games even go on too long, or just like a flash in a pan. But this one had like a lot of depth to it, because like there's your buying phase where it's like, okay, I need to prep for this, I need to prep for that. Oh, my opponent is playing gladiators, I need to prep for that too, and everything goes a little bit faster than what you expect. I had a lot of fun with this.
Yes, we played this as the first game of the night, and then we played 2 other 2-player games, and the whole time I was thinking about it, I was thinking, all right, try and think of 10 other better 2-player games than this in the top of my head. I can think of, like, Mage Wars and a couple other here and there, but this game is spectacular. Like, I cannot wait to play this again. Like, honestly, if we would have just played this 2 or 3 times, I would have been totally all about it. When we got done, we immediately wanted to see what all the different cards are, because the gladiators were all there were duplicates.
Some repeats, but also there's like the arenas, because like when you win a battle, you get the arena power.
Oh my! We didn't even get into that. We'll get there. We'll get there. So I love the gladiators because there were just gladiators that did different things. Maybe when they came into play, they would do something. Or I had one that was super awesome because he could split up his damage. And maybe this one would cancel out other people's special abilities. And then you obviously had ones that were tanks and ones that were fast and ones that were cheap. But then you had the people that are just paying to run your little gladiator arena. And each of those were different as well. Like this one would do damage, and this one would heal damage, and this one would let you put out more gladiators, and this one would make things cheaper, and this would do that. And then there was the reaction cards, which I don't even think either of us really dug too much into,
because they're kind of expensive, but like when you need them, they're pretty much like the game winner in some cases. Like I was holding on to like my last one until like wait till he's vulnerable, wait till like the last one standing, and just like
last card. Yes. So it came down to a really tense moment, and the gladiator fights were really fun.
Because you're invested, because like essentially how it is, like you have 3 arenas you can pick from. The first 2 you can only choose one, but then there's the last one, which is the last battle.
And that one gives you 2 victory points, as opposed to the smaller ones give you 1 victory point.
Yep,
and your goal is to get 6 grand total victory points.
Yeah. And like throughout that fight, you're just like, because like you think the first battle is like, okay, it's for 1 victory point and like a small minor power, but you'd be surprised because like as soon as you win that power, you get it, and like that also is like what can swing the game in unexpected ways.
That cost me the game. Actually, was I was like, all right, because we were both tied at 3 points.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, as long as I win one of these two, we can get to the next round. And I feel like I was in a better position because I had been culling or trashing a lot of my cards. I was like, all right,
powerful gladiators too.
Yes, I was like, as long as I get to that next round, I'm gonna be money. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give her this first arena. She can have it, whatever, no big deal. And by doing that, I utilized the special ability on that particular arena, which was to move one of my guys from that arena to a different arena to fight. But what I didn't realize was that when she won that arena, she then gained that special ability, and she gained it immediately, which allowed her to move one of her gladiators over there, which ended up being the difference. And each arena has a different, and that's so cool, because each arena has its own special ability, as you mentioned.
Yes.
And the first two, the minor ones, the ones that are only going to be worth 1 point, those special abilities will go back and forth. They're traveling special abilities. Whereas if you win the big 2-pointer, you get your own special ability that is yours, you'll get to use throughout the game. Generally, it's like a one-time thing per round, but it makes a big difference. And that's another thing. The variability is so crazy because we saw a grand total of 5 of those cards, I think? 4 or 5?
Like 4 or 5.
And there's like 20 or 30, and each one is different. The gladiators are different. The money, everything was different. And we haven't even talked about the components.
Oh yeah, the components, at least like
in the deluxe edition. This is the deluxe edition.
Like it comes with like these. Oh, can we open it?
Yeah, look at the coin. Oh my goodness, the coins are. I'm gonna put it this way. I'm gonna put this. This is a bold statement. These are the. I don't want to say the nicest. These are the best coins I have ever seen in a game.
Look at this is the favor token, which is not the first player token, but like it gives you like special bonuses, like for being essentially second pick.
It's a little hat. It's just a little hat that goes back and forth.
But it's so cute. Like,
but these coins, and the reason why I say they're the best ever, my wife picked them up. She's like, they're a little bit light. But what I'm saying is, they look like real coins. Like they look like this was just taken. Like this, if a kid found this kid would be like, oh my gosh. This is a coin from like 1,000 years ago.
And it has like that Greek aesthetic, which is just like beautiful, which this game oozes.
And and it's faded, and it looks like how it would. I like the artwork. You know, we didn't even really go into the artwork. I mean, the artwork's serviceable. I don't think it's great.
Yeah, it's not stylistic. It doesn't have its own thing, but it's nice and it's good, and like everything's clear and you can see what's going on.
Let's talk about this player board.
Player board's really good.
Spectacular.
I love it. It's just it's solid. You can read everything clearly. There's like a defined space. It's like, hey, put your deck face down here. Put your discard over here. Put your reserve over here, which is what I also love. Just like because each turn you're like,
oh, the reserve. There's so much strategy oozing out of this. Yeah, you want to talk about the reserve?
Okay, so like how the game goes, like those cards that we mentioned earlier about just like being like only for battle, like at the end of your turn you have to discard all the cards in your hand, which is pretty bad if you have all your battle cards. So your battle cards and your tactic cards, they can go to reserve, so you can change for later, but it costs you money if you do that.
Yes.
1 coin per card, but over time you also learn that you can probably you can strategize and wait till later. You don't need to get it immediately, because when your gladiators die, they bring a coin back to you because it's insurance. Mm-hmm. You can use that money then to pay for those reserve cards, but you have to get them all at one time, and it's just like there's just a lot into it. There's
so many little elements to this game, and then the more we played it, the more I was like, oh wow, there's even strategy. Yeah. Like I love when I play a game and I'm like, wow, there's strategy in this aspect of the game and this aspect of the game, because what you could do is you could just put down a whole bunch of your gladiators in there. If you had a boatload of cash and you were just going for a cash strategy, because what you can do when you get to the arena phase, and it works thematically, is you can bribe the judges to let you bring your gladiators in there. So even though, like, Lucy might be prepared, all right, these are the gladiators I have to face, but I might have 3 or 4 gladiators face down. If I have the cash to pay for them to get out, it's like, oh, here you go, I'm paying for them. And it's like, what? And then the other thing about the gladiators was really cool. You had one that had, they can speed up the game too. There's some that if you get them, they can make the.
It's like one of them, for example, like when they entered in the arena, not even in the battle phase, but like when they just enter the arena, they deal a damage.
They can kill somebody.
Oh yeah, if you have 1 health, it's just like jump in, kill that dude.
It's everything about this game. I aside from the box, I will say the box insert is good for holding everything, and I do like the box insert because I feel like when I want to get this game out again, which I think it's, I want to get this game out again next time I have a 2-player opportunity. It's going to be easy to get everything out, shuffle everything up, and set everything up. There was one minor issue with the player aid card, which was that I wish they had a little bit more information about what happens after fight battles. Some small situational rules that you will want to know and you'll have to look up. But overall, I honestly...
It's a really good... And like, you can feel it ramp up. Because like, at first you were thinking, like, okay, like, because like, in order to do a battle, you have to reach a certain bloodlust. And various gladiators have certain bloodlust ties. And so as the game goes on, the bloodlust gets higher. And we always kept thinking, like, how are we going to meet that each time? It's going to take a long time because it took us forever just to get to that first one. But no, everything starts ramping up quickly. Like,
yes.
I think it was like, by like the third or fourth fight was like the end game. Like when we realized, oh, we need to put all our gladiators in order to win. At that point, we didn't care about like what happens next turn. Like I was throwing everything I had and all my money into it.
Yeah, and it paid off.
Oh,
For glory. I'll put it like this. You know, I want to play it some more, but I have a feeling this is going to get Bauer's best seal for games I rank above a 9. I think it is an absolutely spectacular...
There's not that many games. Like, there's games that can play 2 players, but there's games that are meant for 2 players, and, like, this one feels like it.
Yes.
You know, like, the other games we played, like, I think I can only think of, like, a few. Like, I even, like, you tried to think of 10. Like, I think of, like, maybe, like, 2. Maybe you think, like, Arkham Horror, LCG.
It's more in my wheelhouse a little bit, though, I would say. But yeah,
this one's just like it's in depth enough to be like, okay, I can try to like bring my deck to a certain strategy, or just like try to do my own things. Like my first strategy was like just to block you out of money.
It worked
but
for
then
a while.
At some point you got like all that money, and then like okay, like it ramps up, which is what I like.
Yes, I if you have a 2-player game collection, I cannot recommend this one enough.
No,
the deck building is good, but that battle phase, it's just there's strategy leaking out of every corner. I'm sure there's a bunch of things we didn't even notice.
Oh yeah, little synergies that just go together.
Yep. That is For Glory from Spellcraft Games. Absolutely one that I would recommend checking out if you get 2-player games to the table. I mean, just great game. Definitely one to put on your radar. If you're enjoying what we're doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. Also in the comments below, let me know what is your favorite 2-player game of all time.
Ooh, I mean...
I think it's going to be Arkham Horror.
Probably Arkham Horror. If not that, but like honestly, this one would be great, if not like on par.
It's that good. Believe the hype. For me personally though, Mage Wars, which you can't see, but it's up there. Mage Wars. That's my retirement game. When me and Adam are when we retire, we're going to make Mage Wars decks, and we're going to talk all about our Mage Wars decks, and then we're going to fight each other. It's going to be great. And you can come too if you'd like, Lucy. And we can have everybody. We'll get Mage Wars Arena, and we'll have adventures, and we'll have so much fun.
Come too?
No, she won't want to play it. But she'll be glad that I'm distracted.
Yeah.
she literally thanked Lucy for coming over to game night so she wouldn't have to play stuff with me. Well, let me know in the comments below what is your favorite 2-player game of all time. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
See yas.
All right.